The Internet is a vast, endless ocean of information, but beneath its surface lies a hidden world shrouded in mystery and fear. Among the darkest corners of this digital abyss, one legend has captured the imagination and terror of countless users: the infamous Red Rooms. These are said to be live-streamed torture chambers, hidden deep within the dark web, where unspeakable acts are performed for an audience willing to pay. But are they real, or just another urban myth born from our collective fascination with the macabre? The concept of Red Rooms first emerged in the early 2000s, fueled by eerie stories shared on forums and message boards. The name itself is chilling. Red symbolizes blood, while room suggests a confined, secret space. According to the legend, these rooms are accessible only through the dark web, a part of the internet not indexed by traditional search engines and often associated with illegal activities. In these rooms, viewers could allegedly watch real-time violence, torture, or even murder, all while interacting with the perpetrators through encrypted channels. One of the most infamous tales involves a user who claimed to have stumbled upon a Red Room while exploring the dark web. He described a grainy, low-quality stream showing a masked figure standing over a bound victim. The audience, represented by anonymous usernames, could type commands or donate cryptocurrency to influence what happened next. The story spread like wildfire, sparking debates about the morality of such platforms and the lengths people would go to for entertainment or profit. But what makes the idea of Red Rooms so terrifying is not just the graphic nature of the alleged content, but the implication that such horrors could exist in complete secrecy. The dark web, with its layers of encryption and anonymity, becomes the perfect breeding ground for these kinds of stories. It's a place where the lines between reality and fiction blur, and where the human mind can conjure its worst nightmares. Yet, despite the countless stories and alleged sightings, there is little to no concrete evidence that Red Rooms actually exist. Many experts argue that the logistics of running such an operation, live streaming high-quality video on the notoriously slow Tor network, avoiding detection by law enforcement, and managing payments securely, make it highly unlikely. Instead, Red Rooms may be a modern-day boogeyman, a digital urban legend that taps into our deepest fears about technology and the unknown. So, are Red Rooms real, or are they just a product of our imagination? The answer may lie somewhere in between, but one thing is certain: the legend of the Red Rooms continues to haunt the internet, a chilling reminder of the dark side of human curiosity. And as we dive deeper into this mystery, one question remains: what other secrets are hiding in the shadows of the dark web? If the internet is an iceberg, the dark web is its submerged hidden tip, a place where anonymity reigns and the rules of the surface web no longer apply. To understand the legend of the Red Rooms, we must first venture into the enigmatic world of the dark web, a realm often misunderstood and shrouded in myth. The dark web is a small but infamous part of the deep web, which itself makes up over 90% of the internet. Unlike the surface web, the part of the internet we use every day, accessible through search engines like Google, the deep web consists of unindexed pages, private databases, and password-protected sites. The dark web, however, is a subset of the deep web that requires specialized software, such as the Tor browser, to access. Tor, short for the Onion Router, anonymizes users by routing their connections through multiple layers of servers, making it nearly impossible to trace their activity. This anonymity has made the dark web a double-edged sword. On one hand, it serves as a lifeline for activists, journalists, and whistleblowers operating under oppressive regimes, allowing them to communicate securely and bypass censorship. On the other hand, it has become a haven for illegal activities, from drug trafficking and weapon sales to hacking services and counterfeit currency. It's this darker side that fuels the legend of the Red Rooms, as the dark web's reputation for lawlessness makes it the perfect setting for such horrifying tales. But how does one even find these hidden corners of the internet? The dark web is not as accessible as the surface web. Instead of traditional URLs, it uses .onion domains, which are long, randomized strings of characters. Navigating the dark web often requires knowing exactly where to look, as there are no search engines like Google to guide you. Instead, users rely on directories, forums, and word-of-mouth recommendations, a process that feels like wandering through a digital labyrinth. One of the most notorious aspects of the dark web is its marketplaces, where almost anything can be bought or sold. Sites like the now defunct Silk Road became infamous for facilitating the trade of illegal goods, from drugs to stolen data. These marketplaces operate on cryptocurrency, such as Bitcoin, which adds another layer of anonymity for both buyers and sellers. While law enforcement agencies have made significant strides in shutting down these platforms, new ones continue to emerge, highlighting the dark web's resilience and adaptability. Yet, for all its notoriety, the dark web is not the lawless wasteland it's often portrayed to be. Many of its users are ordinary people seeking privacy, and not everyone who ventures into the dark web is looking for trouble. However, the combination of anonymity, encryption, and the absence of regulation creates an environment where the lines between right and wrong can easily blur. This duality is what makes the dark web so fascinating and terrifying. It's a place where freedom and danger coexist, where the best and worst of humanity can thrive in the shadows. And it's within this shadowy realm that the legend of the Red Rooms finds its home, feeding off the dark web's mystique and the fear of what might be lurking just out of sight. As we peel back the layers of the dark web, we begin to see how it serves as the perfect backdrop for urban legends like the Red Rooms. But the question remains, is the dark web truly as dangerous as it seems? Or is its reputation exaggerated by fear and misinformation? To answer that, we must delve even deeper into the psychology behind these chilling tales. Why do stories like the Red Rooms captivate us so deeply? What is it about these chilling tales that makes them spread like wildfire, even in the absence of concrete evidence? The answer lies in the complex interplay of psychology, culture, and technology, a combination that turns urban legends into modern-day folklore. At their core, urban legends like the Red Rooms tap into our most primal fears, the fear of the unknown, the fear of losing control, and the fear of what others might be capable of. These stories thrive in the digital age because they exploit our growing dependence on technology and the unease that comes with it. The dark web, with its layers of anonymity and secrecy, becomes the perfect setting for these fears to manifest. It's a place where the rules of the physical world no longer apply, and where the boundaries of morality seem to dissolve. One of the key psychological drivers behind the popularity of urban legends is the concept of schadenfreude, the pleasure derived from others' misfortune. While it may sound morbid, humans are naturally drawn to stories of danger and tragedy as they allow us to experience fear in a controlled environment. The Red Rooms, with their graphic and horrifying premise, offer a safe way to explore these darker emotions without actually being in danger. It's the same reason why horror movies and true crime documentaries are so popular. They let us confront our fears from a distance. Another factor is the illusory truth effect, a cognitive bias that makes us more likely to believe information we've heard repeatedly, even if it's false. Stories about red rooms are often shared and reshared across forums, social media, and even mainstream news outlets, creating a sense of credibility through sheer repetition. Over time, the line between fact and fiction becomes blurred, and the legend takes on a life of its own. The anonymity of the internet also plays a significant role. Online, anyone can create or spread a story without accountability, and the lack of face-to-face interaction makes it easier for people to suspend their disbelief. This is especially true on platforms like Reddit or 4chan, where users often engage in creepypasta, a genre of horror stories designed to be shared and embellished. The Red Room's legend fits perfectly into this tradition, as it combines elements of horror, mystery, and technology in a way that feels both plausible and terrifying. But perhaps the most compelling aspect of urban legends is their ability to reflect societal anxieties. In the case of the Red Rooms, the story taps into our fears about the misuse of technology and the erosion of privacy. As advancements in AI, deepfakes, and surveillance continue to reshape our world, the idea of a hidden, malevolent force exploiting these tools becomes increasingly believable. The Red Room's legend serves as a cautionary tale, warning us of the potential dangers lurking in the digital shadows. Yet, for all their psychological power, urban legends like the Red Rooms are ultimately a product of our imagination. They thrive not because they are true, but because they resonate with our deepest fears and insecurities. By understanding the psychology behind these stories, we can begin to separate fact from fiction and confront the real issues they represent. As we move closer to uncovering the truth about the Red Rooms, one question remains. How much of what we fear is real, and how much is simply a reflection of our own anxieties? To answer that, we must turn our attention to the evidence, or lack thereof, behind these chilling tales. The legend of the Red Rooms is undeniably chilling, but is there any truth to it? As we peel back the layers of this digital myth, we find a story that is far more complex and far less sinister than it first appears. While the idea of live-streamed torture chambers is horrifying, the reality is that there is little to no evidence to support their existence. So, where does the truth lie? And why do so many people believe in something that may never have existed? One of the biggest red flags about Red Rooms is the technical feasibility of such an operation. The dark web, while anonymous, is notoriously slow due to the multiple layers of encryption used by the Tor network. Streaming high-quality video in real time would be a significant challenge, especially for something as bandwidth-intensive as a live broadcast. Additionally, the dark web is closely monitored by law enforcement agencies around the world. A platform hosting illegal activities as extreme as those described in Red Room legends would likely be shut down almost immediately. Another issue is the lack of credible evidence. Despite countless stories and alleged sightings, no verifiable proof of a Red Room has ever been found. Many of the claims originate from anonymous forums or social media posts, where users often share exaggerated or fabricated stories for attention. In some cases, these stories are outright hoaxes, designed to scare or shock readers. For example, One widely circulated tale about a red room turned out to be a creative writing exercise posted on a horror forum, yet it was taken as fact by many who encountered it. Experts in cybersecurity and digital forensics have also weighed in, casting further doubt on the existence of red rooms. They argue that the logistics of running such an operation, securing a location, finding willing participants, managing payments, and avoiding detection would be nearly impossible to pull off without leaving a trace. Moreover, the dark web's reputation as a lawless underworld is often exaggerated. While illegal activities do occur, they are far less common than the myths suggest, and most dark web users are not involved in criminal behavior. So, if red rooms don't exist, why do so many people believe in them? The answer lies in the power of storytelling and the human tendency to fill in the gaps of our knowledge with fear. The dark web is a mysterious and poorly understood place, and the idea of red rooms provides a simple, terrifying explanation for what might be hiding there. It's a modern-day boogeyman, a digital version of the monsters we imagined lurking under our beds as children. But while the red rooms may be a myth, the fears they represent are very real. The dark web is a place where privacy and anonymity can be exploited for harm, and the rise of technologies like deepfakes and AI-generated content has only heightened these concerns. The legend of the red rooms serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the potential dangers of unchecked technology and the importance of staying informed. As we conclude our exploration of this chilling legend, one thing becomes clear. The truth about red rooms is not as simple as fact or fiction. It's a reflection of our deepest fears, a product of our imagination, and a reminder of the power of stories to shape our understanding of the world. And while the red rooms may not be real, the questions they raise about privacy, morality, and the future of technology are more relevant than ever.